Well, it's EF Press in a secret location somewhere in Europe. Very nice. Just a quick update. I had an interesting comment from JMC who said that he was having difficulty locating some of my videos on YouTube, and I thought just to fill you in on some of the EF Press analytics that YouTube do provide to their creators, and it's very interesting when you break it down, or they break it down, and it appears that 56% of people who search for EF Press and information about Julian Assange come via Facebook, which is quite bizarre for me because I do not subscribe to Facebook. So kudos to Facebook that they actually news service streaming in terms of searches for Julian Assange and EF Press come out top. So there is some credit to their organisation, and maybe their algorithm hasn't caught up with the others, because clearly from the analytics, as I will describe, they're not so good at disseminating news that does not agree with the current narrative. The next 10% of the searches come via Twitter, which I do have an account with, recently set it up. Don't rarely do many postings on Twitter, but 10% of the searches result in them finding information about Julian Assange and EF Press. Next, 5% of the inquiries come via YouTube itself, which tells you quite a lot about YouTube. That if Facebook can do 56% of the searches result in coming to my channel or similar channels about what's happening with Julian, I think that can tell you most of the story about YouTube's algorithm. And the really interesting one, which is 2%, result from searches made on Google, and that tells me, and hopefully others, that Google, who own YouTube, are even more concerned about not referring you to searches when you put in Julian Assange, EF Press, or any such independent news gathering services, that Google makes sure that you don't get to see what they're doing. And 2% is absolutely pathetic. The other bizarre thing on the analytics is that they can only list 50% of the people that make the inquiries, and the other 50% I have no idea. So the figures I've given you only relate to 50% of the people who do searches or queries on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Google. So it's not that surprising, but it is very worrying, the fact that they are streaming and recommending sites, obviously, that reflect the narrative about Julian Assange being some kind of terrorist, criminal, spy, whatever. And as we know, and most of his supporters and friends will tell you, he is a journalist and a publisher, and the only crime that he ever committed, possibly, was publishing the truth, and that is something that the judiciary, the prosecution services and the intelligence services feel is the narrative that they wish to promote. So on the beat, look down the street, EF Press, bringing you the news.